back to my channel. Today I'm here to do a 24-hour readathon reading vlog, and I don't think I've ever done one of these before. Ever. So I know it's pretty popular. I know a lot of creators that do these. I don't have a video for Sunday. I've been really busy with real life things and kind of getting my life back on track in February because of the shit show that was January, and I need to read. I need some content. I thought 24-hour readathon vlog. So that's what we're here to do today. I have a few things set aside, but I am a mood reader, so this is subject to change, but you're here to watch the whole experience. I'm going to start by finishing Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I started this not last night, but the night before, and I didn't make it very far because I was really tired. And then I read a little bit more last night and I was really tired. I was on my computer for such a long time yesterday. It just confirmed why I don't have a typical 9-to-5 office job. I would die a slow death having to sit in one place for that long. Anyway, Reminders of Him. I'm starting this on page 79, chapter 12. This is dual POV. I am enjoying it so far. I do see what Jessie from Reading with Jess was talking about with the Insta love in the very beginning, but now it's kind of switched. So, or not switched, but other things have come into play. So I'm interested to see where the story goes. But yes, Reminders of Him, brand new release from Colleen Hoover. Looking forward to that. Then I'm going to try to read The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley. It's just one that I'm really interested in. Someone in my book club did reach out and ask if I have read this yet, and I'm like, no. I just put it on my TBR video, but anyway, they just have a few questions. They're a little hesitant going in, so I thought I could go ahead and read this at the beginning of the month and then have my thoughts out there. But also I told them to tune in to my live show at the end of the month. I'm going to have Beth and Ashley on February 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can hear all my thoughts on all the books I read, ask me questions, ask them questions. It's going to be a grand old time, but I have that. And then I think stuff that is good for a 24-hour readathon is like poetry collections, graphic novels, all of that. And I recently did go to Barnes & Noble and buy some graphic novels. So I wanted to read this one, Trespassers by Brenna Bard. And this is it's a middle grade graphic novel series about these kids that I think it's like set during summer. So I think it probably would be a really good summer story. But Gabby Woods is looking forward to another summer vacation at her family's lake house, even though she would rather bury herself in a mystery novel than make new friends. But soon Gabby meets Paige, a snarky kid from Chicago, and they get caught up in a local mystery: the sudden disappearance of a glamorous couple and the extravagant lake house they left behind. So I think this one is going to be really cute. It is like a longer graphic novel. Like it is, let's see how long this one is, like 250 pages. So that's a decent size for a graphic novel, but looking forward to that one. I figured that would like break up all of the fiction that I'm reading. And also I'm probably not going to finish both of these. Like who freaking knows how much I'm going to read. But my copy finally came in. So if you don't know, Beth has a book club that she does over on her channel. They pick a book. She, I think it's like one of her really good friends. I don't know if it's like her best friend, but they do this live show towards the end of the month. And this was their book for January. And I ordered my copy. It was from Half Price Books, and I literally just got it in the mail yesterday. So unfortunately I was not able to read this in January or participate in that live show. I did tune in for a little bit, but I was trying to like keep my thoughts unclouded so I could have my own like emotions and journey with this book. It is a long one, you guys. It is, let's see how long this one is, 500 and some pages. Let's just say 550 pages for this one. So I know I will not finish this book, but I do want to at least start it. And I don't even know if I'll finish it in February, to be completely honest, because I have other books on my TBR that I really do want to concentrate on, but I may roll this over into March, so we shall see. But yeah, so these are the tentative reading plans. I will keep you guys, of course, updated with what I actually read. I hope you're excited for this reading vlog. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, first order of business is putting up her hair and getting a chai latte. So, okay, this is our serious hair. Seriously reading. All right, I am 141 pages in, and I just wanted to give you a brief synopsis of what this is about. It is basically a young mother fighting to earn a place in her child's life. It's told in dual POV. You have Kenna's perspective and you have Ledger's perspective. And Kenna is the mother. She has been in prison for the last 5 years and she's recently been released. She was put in prison for a tragic mistake. She ended up losing her parental rights, but her daughter was raised by Scotty's parents, and now she has returned to that hometown and she's trying to become a part of her daughter's life. Meanwhile, on her first night into town, she walks into this bar, because it used to be where this library or something like that was, but now there's a bar there, and she meets this guy and there's an immediate attraction between both of them. Stuff almost happens, but then he says that his name is Ledger. She makes the connection and she just kind of ends things, but she doesn't really say anything. And then over the course of days, he knows who she is now, she knows who he is now, and she's just fighting to be in her daughter's life, but no one thinks that she deserves to be in her daughter's life because of the events that put her behind bars. So I think it's going to be a romance between Ledger and Kenna, but it's also just very, very emotional hearing how she really does, want to be in her daughter's life. Not to really take her over or take over custody or anything, but just to literally lay eyes on her, because she was never able to do that. I guess she said that usually when you give birth in prison, you're able to be with your baby for 2 days and then they take them away, but she wasn't able to do that because when her baby was born, they were having lung issues or breathing issues, so they had to ship them away to the NICU, and she wasn't able to spend any time with them, so she never saw her child at all, which is very, very sad, of course. So I was already starting to get emotional. Luckily, my husband saved me. His conference call was over and he came in the room right when I was about to lose it, so I was able to suck those tears back in. But I think it's just going to get more emotional as the story goes on. But yeah, that's where I am. I made my second chai and I am going back to read now. It's been an hour and 12 minutes, so making good progress. Almost 4 hours in, I think, to my 24-hour readathon, and I finished Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, and I just kind of need to sit with my thoughts. It's like, on one hand, I want to give it 5 stars, but on another, I'm like, is it 4 stars? But am I just being stupid? Because like, it was really good. And I'm thinking it is 5 stars. I don't know. It also feels kind of rushed at the end. I don't know. This is so hard. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little break and compose my thoughts, and then I will let you know what I am jumping back into, or gonna jump into. I did cry like a few times. I have like this little tissue here, but the ending didn't break me. It was times throughout reading it that I got emotional, but not like full-on ugly cry or anything like that. Just a few, like, you know, tear moments. But it wasn't like so much about the romance. Like, a romance is in here, but it's more just about this woman trying to be in her daughter's life after everything that happened, and how they talk about the motherhood and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, it was really, really powerful. So I don't know. All right, I stepped outside for some fresh air. Also, I love my jacket so much. I wear it all of the time. Okay, so I finished this. The wind's blowing now, as you can see. I think I am gonna rate it 4 out of 5 stars because there were definitely some faults with it. Not really faults, just parts that like could have been discussed more. The ending felt a little rushed. The beginning was a little slow. I wish there were more letters. If you've read the book, you will know. I also didn't like the accident and how that was like a thing, and it's just, there's a lot of thoughts, but I mean, I still really enjoyed it. Like, overall, I loved the motherhood aspects of it. I liked the giving someone a second chance aspect of it. I liked the romance. I liked the small town vibes of the book, even though, like, even in the author's note, she says, like, I never specified a location where the story actually takes place. That was done on purpose. So yeah, so 4 out of 5 stars for this one. I have not written my review yet. I will do that tomorrow or the next day after the 24-hour readathon is over. I have decided that I want to continue to cry, apparently, and I'm gonna pick up The Invisible Husband of Frick Island by Colleen Oakley. This is the story about the wife whose husband dies. He's like a crabber or some type of fisher. Yeah, Tom's crab boat capsized and his body wasn't recovered. Piper, rocked to the core, did a most peculiar thing. She carried on as if her husband were not only alive but right there beside her. So yeah, I'm gonna read this one. I'm gonna take a little snack break and then I will jump in, and then as I start this I will let you know my thoughts. you know Charlie is behind that pillow taking a nap. I just read chapter 1 of The Invisible Husband of Frick Island, and I like that it gave us a little backstory on the couple. They actually started dating in high school, I think, and she was just so amazed that like this really handsome, you know, sought after guy picked her of all the girls, like he had his choice or whatever. And yeah, they've just been together ever since, and she loves him with her whole heart, and she can't imagine life without him. And yeah, and so she is going to the docks to pick up her husband after work. I guess she works at like this like general store, and then she walked over to the dock area, and she was talking about books that they like to read and stuff like that, and she was rereading a book, and then this guy that she knew like came up and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry to tell you this, but Tom, he radioed in, but then the radio cut out, and it took a while for like the Coast Guard to get out there." And then so she just said, he said, "I'm gonna go out and look, you're more than welcome to come with me." And she's like, no, I'll stay here so when he gets back or whatever. And then yeah, he never came back. They did like a search and stuff, and they finally found his ship at the bottom of the ocean, or it was sunk, but they couldn't find him. And so obviously she's grieving, and she just said that she was sure he was gonna like show up. He must have got disoriented and like swam to safety in the wrong direction or something like that. They had a memorial service for him on the island at the church, and she didn't go to that because she was like, "I'm not going to, like, he's gonna come back." And then at the very end of chapter 1, it says, let me see where I should start. Oh, she was talking about all the things in their house, and then like how she kind of left everything like it was, like even his dirty cup in the sink and stuff like that. It was as if all of these things, Tom's things, suddenly sprouted magical properties, transformed into talisman, beckoning Tom back to where he belonged, to his bed to sleep, to the kitchen to wash out his coffee mug and hang it on the hook next to the sink, to the threadbare easy chair in the den to find out what happens to the characters of his current novel. They weren't just reminders of Tom, they were promises. He was going to come home. Of that one thing Piper was sure. And then one morning, just like that, he did. And then chapter 2 starts with 4 months later. So I don't know where it's gonna go from here, but my interest is piqued. So I'm gonna jump back in. I just wanted to give you first chapter impressions. The weather is so overcast and gross. It's making me so sleepy. So I was like, I'm gonna check in with my friends. I had some Pop-Tarts. Don't know if that was the best snack to have, but it's what I had on hand. I probably shouldn't have any more coffee because I was getting a little shaky, well, chai tea, but I think I'm going to just because it's cold and it's rainy and gloomy outside, and I'm getting tired, and I can't let that slow me down. But I'm currently reading this. I am currently on page 63, and I am enjoying it so far. It's very like quirky, but maybe that's the wrong word because I know people hate that word. I don't know how else to describe it. Basically, I don't even know the guy's name yet. I'm not far enough. Is it Tom? I feel like it's Tom. No, that's the real guy's name. So what is Anders? All right, so Anders is the reporter that goes to Frick Island to cover the cakewalk. That's all he was there for. He notices Piper at the crab restaurant, the one-eyed crab restaurant, and he goes over to the table and he asks to borrow the salt, and then she's like, yeah, sure. And he's like, do you want to eat dinner with me? And she's like, I'm here with my husband. And he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you know, I didn't know. And then he realizes that like he never sees this guy or a husband like sit down at our table. but he doesn't think too much of it. And then the next day he goes to catch the ferry back to the mainland, and he's waiting for the boat, and he's sitting on a bench, and then Piper like is walking towards that area, and I guess the guy is like, "Hey Piper, hi Tom," and he's like, "Why do people keep saying hi Piper, hi Tom? Where is Tom? I don't see him." And then anyway, he catches the boat back to the mainland, and then in the newspaper he sees like an old newspaper article about something about like a capsized boat and about the fisherman Tom, and he also gets this like mysterious email from someone that says, I thought it was pretty funny. It was just a really quick one. It says, you came all the way to Frick Island and missed the biggest story out here. For a reporter, you're not very observant. So so now he's definitely interested in going back. He bumped into like another reporter, journalist, whatever, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you know that Frick Island is like sinking, climate change and all that." So he like Googles it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you know, it is. Like maybe that's what that person was talking about in the email." So he's like, "I'm gonna go back and report on it," because he has a podcast and he's trying to like grow his listener base, get more comments, get more like feedback and listens and all of that. And I'm like, I feel you, Anders. But yeah, so he's going back, and I'm assuming this is where he's gonna realize what's happening with Piper and Tom, and I think we're just gonna learn more about the island and stuff like that as well. It's flipping back and forth between like Piper and Anders, and the font is like different. So far I would say it feels like maybe he is the main character, but I'm not really sure. I'm gonna keep reading. I will update you, but I definitely think I need to make, maybe I'll just do that instead of a chai tea latte. I'll do like an actual hot coffee. I'm gonna do a check-in. 6 hours and 45 minutes into the 24-hour readathon, which is great. I am probably gonna have to pause to like do dinner, watch a show with my husband, and of course I think I am going to sleep tonight at some point, but I am making good progress on this book. I'm currently on page 126, 127, and I'm definitely enjoying it. It's not like a fast moving story by any means. It's definitely like slower moving, and it's about the characters obviously and what they're going through, and Anders trying to figure out what's going on and get to know the people on the island of Frick and just try to get more information about what is exactly going on. But this island only has like probably less than 100 residents, and everybody's really close and like tight-lipped, so they're not as like forthcoming about things. Although he hasn't like directly asked anybody like, why does Piper believe her husband's still there? So he's trying to go about it in like this like roundabout way and kind of like catch some information about it, and possibly put it on his podcast. But yeah, it's slower moving for sure. All right, quick update. I made it 50% of the way through and still enjoying it. Not totally in love with it yet, but guys, I got so many packages, and I don't think I have ordered anything except for these little spoons. So, and this feels like a book. So I think I just got things from people in my book club for my birthday. This is a birthday present. Happy birthday. This story was fun and I thought it was interesting and quick ride. I hope you enjoy it. I appreciate your friendship and I love being a night owl. Ah! Elena. Oh my gosh. Okay, what is it? Okay. Ooh, The Secrets of Us by Lucinda Berry. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, thank you. So exciting. I love that. Okay, let me also cut the notes because I like to keep my notes in my books. Sometimes I tape them in, but I haven't been doing that lately. Thank you so much. I love this cover. Yeah, so I do have 2 Lucinda Berry books on my TBR, but I added all of her other books to my wish list and I'm hoping I get a bunch of them. All right, next one. It's also a book. Oh my gosh. This one says, happy birthday. I read this book and I hope you enjoy it too. This is from someone in my book club as well, Danielle. Thank you so much. Saving Noah from Lucinda Berry. I'm so excited. But also, why are these books not the same size? Like, that is a little annoying, but thank you so much, ladies. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I have to put this in there. Thank you so much, Danielle. This is the one that I'm really excited about. I know this was one of Jacqueline's favorite books of last year. I think it made Jesse's top favorite books of the year as well. So super excited about this, really excited about this. I think this is like one of her newer ones. Angel, oh my gosh. I hope you love this as much as Razor Blade Tears. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh, I immediately know what this is. Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to read this one. Oh my gosh. It says a roaring, full throttle thriller crackling with tension and charm. So I'm really hoping that it's that like action movie thriller that I think I love. All right, here we are. Post-dinner, post-watching TV with Daniel. We're currently watching The Last Kingdom, which is pretty cool. I think we just watched episode number 5. For dinner, I made some couscous bowls with chickpeas and carrots and onions and this like guacamole sauce that was really good. And so I made dinner, we watched our show, I changed into my pajamas, took off my makeup, and now I am going to jump back into my book. I did listen to the audiobook while I was cooking dinner, so I was able to make it to page 212, and there has definitely been some developments in the story. Obviously, this is spoiler free, so, but now I'm kind of wondering what's really going on, and I have an idea, but it's kind of far-fetched, but maybe I'm right, who knows. Anyway, I'm going to read. I'm hoping to finish this before I go to bed, and then tomorrow I want to read the graphic novel. That's the plan, but let's see if I can stay up. It's already pretty late and I am tired, but that's okay. We're powering through. All right. We have been going at this for almost 12 hours, right? Yes, we've been almost going at this for 12 hours and I need to catch up on some of the Winter Olympics stuff. I'm gonna watch the opening ceremony. I love the freaking Olympics so much. I think the Summer Olympics are my favorite, but are they? Because I love ice skating, I love the skiing, I love the bobsledding. I love the speed skating. I don't know. I just love the freaking Olympics. Anyway, finished The Invisible Husband of Frick Island. And unfortunately, I don't know what to think about this one. I really went into it hoping that I would fall in love with the town and the people, how I did in I'm Back. I really wanted to fall in love with the town of Frick Island like I fell in love with the town Willow Bay in A Season for Second Chances by Benny Bayless. They even have similar color schemes. I guess in some ways, I would say that like if you liked the town, you might like this island. Unfortunately, this one you just got to know the characters so much more, and like even though the romance wasn't a huge part of the story, there was a definite romance between these two because Annie was just really over her husband like cheating on her because he had done it before, and she's like, I am done. Where in this one, her husband dies, or he his boat capsizes and his body is not discovered, and so he is presumed dead. So she's dealing with a lot of grief, and everybody knows she's dealing with a lot of grief, but then like one day, all of a sudden she's acting like Tom is right there beside her, and everybody in the town starts going along with it. And then this journalist comes to town to cover a different event, the cakewalk, and he gets an email that says, hey, you missed the real story going on in the town. He goes back, and after several trips back, because he lives on the mainland, and then he would come back in like on the weekends and stuff, and he started figuring out like, why are the people like pretending like Tom is there? But then even he started going along with it, and even like she goes, oh, let me introduce you to my husband Tom, and he's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Like, I don't know, it was just so weird. I don't know. Going into it, I just had an open mind. I didn't have any like preconceived notions about like what was going to be like the thing. Was the husband really dead? Was it a mental illness? Like, was it magical realism? Like, I just didn't know where it was going to go, what was going to happen. I definitely did not predict anything in here. And I can't say that like the thing that happened was like good or bad. It just was what happened. And so it just deals a lot with like grief, but like in a different way than I've ever read before. And I don't think that I really liked it. Not that it was bad, it just didn't do anything for me. Even though that there were several characters in here like named several times and had little, when he would go to Frick Island, when Anders would go to Frick Island, like they would pop up again and again. I never felt like I liked the characters that lived on Frick Island. I never felt like, oh my gosh, I really want to live there. I mean, kind of, but I didn't feel like attached to the people how I did in this one. And the island of Frick Island is like a big part of the story. And I just never fell in love with it the way that I wanted to. He's doing a podcast. So he's a journalist that works for this newspaper, but also on the side, he has like a podcast. And although there were mentions of the podcast, it wasn't produced in the audiobook, which I hated, and we didn't get enough at all of the podcast stuff. There was just like one maybe episode that we got like towards the end, but then I figured like once the story kind of comes to a head, like in the last like little bit, once you figure out like what's actually happening, it's said so matter-of-factly like, oh yeah, this is what's going on. And you're like, what? It was so, I don't know. And then it just kind of, I didn't care after that because what was going on. Like, I just didn't get it. I was just like, I don't know what would have made it better. I mean, I don't know. So I'm just kind of like up in the air about this, and there wasn't really a romance in here. I mean, there were several like things mentioned, like this person liked this person, and I mean, Anders did confess like his feelings to her, but like nothing ended up happening. And I mean, that's fine. It's just that I guess I just don't know what I was expecting. I wanted to like Anders. Didn't really like Anders. I wanted to like Piper. Didn't really like Piper. Wanted to like the townspeople. Didn't really like the townspeople. Wanted to like the island of Frick Island. Didn't really get enough of the island or the small closed off. It wasn't like an island, like a tropical island, but like this coastal town island. It wasn't that. And the story of what was happening, I don't know. I think I'm gonna give this like, I was thinking 3 stars, but the more I think about it, it might be 2 stars. Good morning, friends. I have about an hour and 40 minutes before my 24 hours is up. I did start Trespassers last night. I watched the opening ceremonies of the Olympics and then went to bed, and I read for a little bit. I was also like reading during the commercials, so but I made it to page 106 in this graphic novel. I should definitely be able to finish this up in the next hour, but I'm also doing my Wordle. So I'm in the process of doing that. After I do this, hopefully I will, you know, go ahead and finish that up. But I don't want to spend too much time on this. Yay, I did it. That was my Wordle for the day. No letters in my word. My chai. Now let's grab the book and see if we think we can hold it like this. Yes, we can. All right. We're gonna find a spot over here in the sunshine. I also have to feed Charlie real quick because she's hungry. I finished the graphic novel Trespassers, and I'm going to update you on my full thoughts in a minute. I do have about 45 minutes left to read something, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and call it quits. I did sleep for 8 hours and I did not read for the last 45 minutes, so almost 9 hours of the 24 I actually wasn't reading, but that's still a lot of reading. I'm gonna get ready for the day, and then I will update you with my full thoughts on everything that I read. All right, that's a little better, right, Charlie? Anyway, Charlie's here, I'm here, we're here with our final update for the 24-hour readathon that I did. It was totally random. I needed content for today's video, and I was like, I've never done a 24-hour readathon. Let me do one of those. So I posted on my Instagram that I was going to start at noon, but I actually just started at 10 o'clock, which was perfect for me because Daniel starts his meetings at 10 o'clock. So it was a perfect time to get started at 10 o'clock, and I read until 9:15 this morning. And I did sleep from 12 until, well, it was about 12 till like 8:15. So I didn't really read for like 8 almost 9 hours of the 24 hours I didn't read, but I managed to read a bunch, and that makes me so happy. So I started off with Reminders of Him. I started this on page like 70. Yeah, I started this on page 79. So I read this much of Reminders of Him. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. Then I picked up and read the entirety of The Invisible Husband of Frick Island, and I'm rating this story 2 out of 5 stars because of all the stuff that I was telling you last night. I think that usually I reserve 3 stars sometimes for books that didn't necessarily appeal to me but might appeal to you, but there was nothing about the like characters or the setting or even the resolution of the conflict, or necessarily even the writing or like the ending that did anything for me. And I don't know, if you've read this, let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. But I don't know, it didn't have summer vibes. It could have been set anywhere really, other than like them having to use the ferry to get back and forth to the island and them being like a little secluded, but I don't know. So not a super fan of this one, obviously. And then I finished out by reading Trespassers by Brenna Bard, and this is about a family that goes to their lake house like every summer. And on this particular summer, there is another family that is like vacationing in a cabin next door to them, and the girl Gabby really likes mysteries, and she's always admired this house up on this like hill type thing. Let me see if I can find a better picture of it. And she decides that she's going to write a story about like why these people mysteriously disappeared or whatever. Okay, here it is. Here's a really good picture. So they're out on the lake, and here's the house that we're referring to right here. But yeah, Gabby has just like always really liked that house, and she asks her parents about it, and they're like, oh, it was this really famous architect that lived there, and his wife was like this fashion model, and you know, no one really kind of knows like what happened after that. And so she starts writing this mystery, and then the other girl kind of gets like involved in helping her write the mystery, and they're going to investigate like what happened and stuff like that. It does have like some other things in here, like her dad ends up kind of like dropping a bombshell on like the family on the family vacation, and the girl and her brother, like the neighbors, they don't seem that like Gabby and her family. They're very like a close-knit family. They're very like honest and trustworthy and very like goody-goody two-shoes, you know, but like in a normal way. And the other girl seems to be like, I don't know, a little bit more like living on the edge and stuff like that. She tries to make Gabby come out of her shell and stuff, but so there's stuff like about that as well. Overall, I'm just rating this like 3 out of 5 stars because there were kind of some unanswered questions, and I was like wondering, is there going to be more parts to this? Because I mean, there could be, definitely. I liked the artwork. The artwork was great. I loved that. And I loved like Gabby's family, but I feel like it wasn't so much about her family. Like the parts that we got, I really liked. But I felt like it was more about her and this kind of other girl and that kind of story, the mystery. So I don't know, I'm just gonna rate it 3 out of 5 stars. It's hard to explain like your thoughts about a graphic novel, you know. Anyway, that's that. So I managed to take these 3 books off of my TBR with this 24-hour readathon. I had so much fun being able to read this much in such a short amount of time, but now it's over and I get to relax a little bit. And by relax, I mean like edit this video, laundry, dishes, errands that I need to run, like do all of the weekend things, you know, all of the adulting things. So thanks for joining me. I hope you're all having a lovely day or night. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought, spoiler free, down in the comment section down below. All of my reviews are written. Go check them out if you want a written review for Reminders of Him, The Invisible Husband of Frick Island, or Trespassers They're all written up on Goodreads and the Storygraph. Check the links in the description box. And I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye guys.